Alright, so I think I found the problem, and for those who don't know, also, if you see food on the screen, it's because Future Jordan added that in, just to show you, you know, the diet that I'm going on, just for funsies, if nothing else, or if nothing else after that, to make sure that I keep with the diet I'm on, because I'm going under a condition, although I'm feeling a lot better, and it's not like I'm, like, too weak or anything, but hey, yeah, I'll explain the thing about the, thingamajiggy after we get past the timestamp. I think it's Zektas Fatalist, by the way, so this run is about to get really bad, but for timestamp's sake, as we get into Zektas Fatalist random item stats custom character, you know, funny enough, this is actually very, very workable as a Zektas character. We need 1 point in strength, but as long as no curses slap us too hard, we can still manage any other stat decreases. Strength, charisma, Toxicon, dexterity, knowledge, every single stat check, and then maybe light. So basically, the full 9 stamina, 6 reason, no, 5 reason damage. But you get the point. We're gonna be in some pain, but. If we can grab weapon, cool, but the only thing I wanted to say for sure is that, yes, I made an oopsies on the character-linked events, for this character specifically, because for some reason I was just missing or I did not transplant the files correctly, but after that there's also an event that happened in a recent video, in which, yeah, things didn't work out. Also, there's a little short house rule on, when I'm playing on Fatalist backstory, for this series at least, is that I go from left to right, and I replace the base mysteries, quote-unquote base mysteries, with the custom mysteries. Because I do 2 custom mysteries, that usually perfectly fits with, I'm trying to focus on getting the right weapon. That army knife is absolutely terrible, but we gotta grab something. But yeah, replace the base mysteries on the mid-left and mid-right with the custom mysteries, because those are the only 2 mysteries, for those who don't know, that you can identify by picture. And then the other 3 the other 3 base mysteries you don't know. But obviously, if I get just a base mystery, or if I get 3 custom mysteries in a run, by way of the game saying all perks, because I don't use all perks of custom characters. Again, I might as well just be explaining my rules here, but I have to, or I feel like I should. Then I replace the rightmost mystery with a custom mystery. Hopefully that's concise enough to explain. But yes, again, I just forgot to put Ito files in the right spot, or just put them in a spot at all. And I don't know. I think it was hospital, if I recall correctly, even though I literally just looked at it. And yeah, also kind of lamenting that I haven't gotten as much work done as I wanted to. I mean, less essential work, including certain plugins for this game, but otherwise, just seeing what I can and can't do. But I was also finding some issues otherwise. Oh my goodness, max reason, and then proc and Insmasu. So cross our fingers and hope that nothing too bad happens. We are in metamorphosis, so this is going to hurt a lot. Not that I could have gotten anything else. If we die immediately, or if the game crashed, we'll do another run. Usually if the game, well, I shouldn't say usually, but a lot of the times if and when the game crashes, I do another run. Now, this is absolutely terrible, by the way. 5 damage army knife for the loss. We can take 9 damage in the face, funny enough, but it's 9 damage, but I don't really have any other recourse. Unless we take like 6 stamina damage for some reason during a turn. Can I afford to do that? Kind of. This turn I can. Next turn I can't. Depends on how much damage I take here. So, yeah, from now on, because I swear on the recordings of my videos, I think at least 3 months ago, at the earliest, as I miss a 90% kick, I have taken 6 stamina damage out of nowhere fighting this boss. So unless the game's been stealth patched somehow, even though this is the local copy of 1.01, because this, usually I'm playing World of Horror through my itch.io copy. And that's all I have to say. But, yeah, I know there's a bug here, so I want to make sure that nothing weird happens. Otherwise, just call it spooky stuff. I mean, just the least you can say, even though it is unfair at times. I can see how it would feel unfair at times that enemies do bonus damage for no reason. But anywho, so what would have been Recluse is actually now a custom mystery. And into Tongue we go. So, yeah, so one of these particular classes, I might as well talk about it now. If nothing else, it gets my debug mind going as we lose our stats due to Zektas. But, one of the crashes happened during this mystery, and I'm 99.9% sure that it wasn't a custom. I mean, the creator told me themselves, but you get the point. It was a more general custom event that belongs to, I think, the hospital, if I recall correctly. I think this is the second time I've forgotten, but in the same video. But anywho, so this tongue is gonna hurt us really hard if I don't have any stamina healing. So what we're gonna do is grab the painkillers, and we'll see if we can survive with just that. Well, who am I kidding? I'm gonna rest anyway. It's gonna hurt a lot. We lose a stat, but we'll lose it after tongue, and which is the mystery in which we want to not get oofed by a boss. This is interesting. You know what? Let's just do it. I'm sure that's free, right? Boreal Expanse. Never mind. I lied to myself. I don't want to take stamina damage, and we didn't get the ring anyway, but we do want to get rid of that. Nope, we don't. That's right. Preparing does that to me, and we got 0 statted. So, pain, we'll do another run. That was quite unfortunate. That run could have actually just went any way. If we had gotten a 5 damage meat cleaver, our fate would have looked a lot better. Not by that much. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not like we're grabbing, well, katana's too much of an exaggeration, but as we get Herald World of Horror here, yeah, that run could have been a lot better. Not dying that way would have also made the run a lot more interesting, but I can only be myself. So, as we set ourselves to random item stats, and this time we're on Herald, yeah, let's just get into it. And we thankfully keep our stats. Nonetheless, Zectast is still a more challenging god, especially on Harbinger of Doom. Actually, only on Harbinger of Doom. Like, the difficulty decreases so much when you're not playing on Harbinger of Doom, objectively speaking. Second, dexterity, knowledge, and strength, and maybe a light check. That's not to say, though, that you can't just turn your brain off. I would say, though, in terms of, like, strategy and what to do, there's a much lower skill floor, if I were to talk about this gameplay in general, to World of War, but there is an interesting skill strategy ceiling. Sorry, I don't mean to make it off like I'm doing something amazing, like I'm not. But anywho, thread of fate, unearthly suture, so a lot of doom, and then this character starts with void. I am going absolutely crazy. But as we grab the rumor, grab our funds, and see our mysteries, yeah, let's move on. So again, I think I called the last oh, no, I didn't. I'm not going to say that because that makes no sense now. Ramen footage, Kana story, and taxi. Don't let it be said, though, that the mysteries you get in general, like, don't let me somehow stop. It's like, oh, Jordan does this, so I'm going to do it. No, reroll mysteries if you feel like it. Your odds of survival drastically increase with mysteries that are more catered to your character, to be more specific. It's not like eels will, it kind of always helps you. But other than that, as I just take this in the face or something, I think we'll just turn this into a kick run just for giggles. But the order in which you choose your mysteries, because again, if you take Kana last, yeah, you could be taking Kana and suddenly you just lose all your reason for whatever, well, because you took Kana last. And you lose 3 reason, and so you're not getting the full value of Kana, and which is why one of the primary pieces of advice that might slap you in the face when you ask anyone in the community is to take this mystery, eerie episode of Evolving Eels first, because 1 damage mitigation over the course of a run in which you're going to be fighting enemies at some point in your life is pretty important. Now, on a lower difficulty, it doesn't matter as much, but a Harbinger of Doom specifically, because damage increases by 1. As simple as that. And so you have Kana bring that damage back down, and their presence is very much appreciated. But yeah, I think we can just focus on strength if our kicks do 1. Now, we took 3 stamina damage for it, but we also have Kana, so I consider that kind of an equalizer of sorts, especially if you don't look at max stamina and max reason as valuable really. I do the same, but I'm a bit more scared of my max stamina and reason dropping below 9 or 8 because of, if you're locked in painting or a mystery in which you can't freely increase or recover stamina or reason for Doom increasing, it can be really dicey. So we do have story. Let's take care of footage though, because yeah, getting lost in the forest with roads closed is a recipe for disaster for me. I have very bad experience. Basically, for those who are newer, I have very bad experiences with RNG in any game, really. But World of Horror is a star highlight. not just because I mainly play World of Horror. And if you watch literally any other game, you'll see the same thing happen. Now, I'll admit, my luck is probably not in the 33 percentile in terms of I'm luckier than... I'm unluckier than... So I'm going crazy. Let me just move on with life. I'm not that unlucky, I would think, but I do have vastly fluctuating levels of RNG, and in general, it's not great. I mean, it's just not great. I'm certainly not rolling 2s and 3s left, right, and center, but that would be a bit too. That would be actually the devil's advocate to my own argument. Anywho, I've not run into a single enemy yet, have I? Well. Yeah, I mean, what else can I say? I have not run into an enemy. All the damage I've taken, by the way, so far has been through events. Now, that being said, it hasn't been that bad, but I promise you, stuck in this forest, I can just miss 4 checks back to back and just lose the run. Shrug! Also, this character has fame. I have Kana, but I'd rather still increase the strength. Fame is a nice modifier on top of Kana. So, fun time. I have not fought a single enemy, by the way. I want to keep stressing that. This is not a normal run. I went from a run that starts with bad RNG to a run that is starting with great RNG. Let me repeat that. This is a very lucky run. You don't often run into a run like this. Now, in story, it's a bit more controlled, because there's no RNG that you're going to run into these ghosts. But, with Kana at our side, we're taking a lot less damage. I think it's -1 all damage, you know? Yeah, so... And then we throw hands, literally. Now, we can't do some cool 4-kick turns, but guaranteeing 1 kick and having the others be 90% is pretty good. Because for 2 all, I am essentially doing an average of 12 damage per turn. Yeah, 12 I'm dealing 12 damage per 2 all, which if you've seen my any other run where I run into this mystery story, I'm doing literally half that damage. But as we continue onward here, we are running into a ghost, but again, we can take a few more hits to the face. I think if the next enemy is the ghost enemy, why do I not remember hating this mystery so much? In terms of difficulty, it is a fun mystery because it's just back to back to back, slapped by -2 all. I wouldn't really call them bosses. That one that we just fought, the enemy we just fought, yes, I know she's the character, is not exactly boss level, but it's still dealing -2 all, which is very, very... which can be very difficult to deal with. Here's the ghost, by the way, but we can still take -2 all damage in the face and sever kick. So, again, could be taking -2 all damage and doing 6 damage, but instead we're taking -1 all damage and dealing 6 damage, which essentially doubles the amount of damage we are dealing by having Kana lower damage by 1. Now, on an Itotu run, it would be a bit more interesting. This enemy would be absolutely terrible for Itotu Kana, but for every other encounter in this mystery, you can take some risk here and there and be cool. Now, this encounter, on the other hand, is less cool, but should have leveled up here. I did not. So, maybe we think about running. Yeah. Third mystery, 31% Doom. You are also doing very, very, very well. In fact, I should rest here. I'm not going to rely on the Restless bonus in a mystery where we're being slapped by all damage left, right, and center. And again, if you enter your third mystery with 40% Doom, you are doing averagely well. And we are ending this mystery with about 41% Doom, so do the math. Also, I saved the severed turn, which is why I can't load my action, so we take -3 all and be on our merry little way. I'll just level up in the meanwhile. Might as well. Deduction will help out immensely as well, but more importantly, if we can just take -3 all damage, that would be great. Now we have to take a risk, but again, you could do a lot worse in this mystery. You could do a lot worse. But that's part of the strategy, because you would not want to just purposely go in, unless you're trying to challenge yourself. I mean, sure, you could take story first. And obviously, you can't just be like, well, Jordan, yeah, I'm taking story first, and walk in with Aiko, with the plush toy, and Kana. That should be relative. I'm not going to... There are some specific situations in which you can just walk into story. Haru is another character who can walk into story relatively okay. Moriko is as well. This hopscotch woman with 60 power doesn't hurt us as much because Kick has a stable accuracy. Things of this nature are very... if you're a combat-oriented character, you tend to do a lot better in World of Horror, on average, at least in this version. But anywho, double dexterity. Yeah, why not? I think I had the dexterity check. If I don't, well, shrug. And if we don't get fetid fumes, we'll rest in our last mystery. We're going to take a little bit of a risk here. Just walking through this mystery and hoping for the best, because I want to take the restless bonus and then do a thing. Now, again, if we fail events like 3 times in a row, starting from that first one, then I rest. But either way, I would suggest you rest at this. With 5 stamina, 3 reason, rest once or twice, depending on your level. And I think even just the amount of rest you're willing to take, in my case 0, does a lot to kind of express the kind of player you are. Again, there's still some micro readings you can do from seeing how players play in any game, really, I believe. But as I roll the dice here again... Nope. That would have been great, but no. But anywho. Again, I can afford to take this doom in the face. I don't really care, as we grab a map. This isn't the one. Am I going crazy? I always confuse Taxi with the other quote-unquote Taxi mystery. And they're created by different people. I know I've talked about this specific point before, but I just want to mention it again, because it has been a while. But as we grab a pack of cigarettes, because I like that stuff in-game, because it grants you a good buff, yeah. I think it is Taxi, right? Yeah, one is cab and the other's taxi. Or is it cab? I'm going crazy. I'm sorry if I misnamed the mystery. But you get the point. Yeah, I think this is actually the taxi mystery. So, I could just choose to run here. Probably should just choose to run here. So, let's run to the trees, take our doom, and funny enough, smoke these packs of cigarettes, because I think I'll need the thing. Never mind. We didn't fight anything anyway. So these cigarettes should still last me if I somehow get nicotine withdrawal and Taxi-san appears. I mean, I guess we just fight it. But, not much else to take. Might as well just take improvise, and into ramen I go. So, again, this run is a lot better. A Kana run into a single boss mystery. Now, if you have like 4 boss mysteries after grabbing Kana, okay, it's still a little bit dicey, but Kana does so much to make your run a lot easier, basically. If you didn't hear it from anyone else, you're hearing it from me. We could also just choose to run here. The -2 all damage, well, we can't run from this. Haspin, no! We can brace, but... So the reason why I brace here specifically is that I like to kind of open up my options, if that makes any sense. Now, you could just go for a turn like that, but you're getting about the same amount of damage anyway, and the primary difference here in this specific instance is that I don't get to attack boost any of my kicks. Yeah, this is a bug, but just bear with me. Well, if you brace, you get a 90% into an 80, so assuming I hit every single kick in both versions, where I do 4 kicks, I take 2 all damage and deal 12 damage. But when I brace, I deal 6 damage, but only take -1 all. So you kind of get where my math is coming in. And again, even this kind of shows some player expression, because it shows what you're willing to kind of risk here and there. It's not really that much of an expression, but you get the point, I think. There are some things to note from seeing how things there. That was not guaranteed, by the way. I did that for funsies, but... Anywho. So, I could just choose to rest here as well. If I don't have fetid fumes, I probably should. I don't. Or I do. So, take apple juice because that's stamina. Orange juice is reason, I believe. And leaving is just nothing, so you might as well take the healing. Unless you get some weird eldritch parasite high threat level, I believe. But anywho. You know what? We can grab this ramen. Yeah, we can grab this ramen. This black hair isn't needed. In fact, we have 2 smelly meats. Never mind. I threw those away for no reason. But I didn't need them anyway. So, hey, take the reason. And we are dealing with a thing. You know what? Yeah, just for fun. No, I'm going to take the risk. I think we have 3 spells to forget as well. Yeah, we do. So, as we take the thingamajiggy and we take our smelly meat for the big mystery experience bonus, because I think that's deduction on top. Yeah, that was deduction on top of the thorough bonus. Our doom rose through the roof, but as long as everything's okay, everything will be okay. I'm going to hold this level up just to see what I need to recover. Second dexterity, blah, 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 blah. No charisma, but we do have a light check. Yes, we do have a light check. We have the 6th floor. So we need to heal reason, and after that... either way, I could increase strength to 8. Doesn't really matter, though. I'm not fighting anyone, so just take the reason. And then we rest once anyway. Actually, we'd have to rest twice the other way. Oh my goodness, let me in, please! But yeah, not really much else to say. Unless a freak accident happens, I should survive this run. I don't remember my thing at all. I know we took eels first, but I don't think we did anything else after that. I don't remember who it would be, though. Yeah, it was probably the anime girl. I don't even remember the names. I did take story second. Never mind, I completely lied. Did I take story first just for giggles? Anywho. No, I took something out. I took footage second. That's why I'm going crazy. So it was actually it was actually the non-story one. The other way to remember would have been easier for me. But we survive anyway. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, without further ado, if you have anything to say, you know what to do. If you want to support me, you know what to do. I'm still trying to do my own thing. And if you have anything to say, well, I'll try to at least listen and kind of say, yeah, I saw what you said. But without further ado, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!